Good afternoon. My name is Devron Johnson, and today I will be talking about whistleblower Kim Emigh. And we're going to talk about Kim's story and about how he applied MIA's resolution of ethical conduct and Bederaco's 4 rules of quiet leaders. So Kim's story begins at WorldCom. When he was first hired on at WorldCom, he saw a lot of questionable activities that he wasn't comfortable with. He saw that management was very close with vendors, and he also saw that there were some questionable accounting activities. And he would always report these to his superiors, and his superiors kind of got tired of it, and so they would send him off to a different department. And there was a point when he was asked by upper management to start reporting capital labor as an expense. And capital labor is normally reported as an asset, and Kim did the math and it ended up being about $35 million. And so in a sense they were trying to have him commit tax fraud. Kim decided to follow the proper procedures and take it up the corporate ladder, and word got back to him that he was to follow through with it anyway. And so Kim decided to take it up with the assistant to the chief operating officer, and she decided to overturn the directive. Now, Kim found out 2 months later that he was fired, and he felt like it was due to the fact that he blew the whistle. After he was let go, he sought out different jobs to help support his family, and each opportunity that he found, whenever they would call about a reference to WorldCom, they either would not answer or they'd give a negative report. So it was difficult for him to find employment, and so that lasted about 14 months. And it was quite a hard time for him and his family. When Kim noticed unethical behavior at WorldCom, he tried the best that he could to resolve the issue. According to the Institute of Management Accountants, once faced with ethical issues, one should follow the company's policies and procedures. And so Kim went ahead and did that, and if that doesn't work, you continue on with the next step, with the following steps. And the first one is to discuss the issue with supervisor and report issue. So Kim did that. He reported it up through the corporate ladder. He didn't step on anyone's toes, and in the end, he had to go to the assistant to the chief operating officer. Now, the one thing he didn't do was he didn't tell his immediate superior that he was going to do so, and so I'm sure that ruffled some feathers. The second step is to discuss ethical issues with a counselor or impartial advisor. Now, I'm sure WorldCom had advisors that he could have spoken with, but it didn't mention in the article that he spoke with any of them. And maybe he should have sought counseling outside of the company, but he didn't do so. And the last but not least is to consult your attorney on the ethical issues and legalities. So he did this, but it was after he was let go and after he was intending to sue the company. It would have been more advantageous if he would have done so before he was let go and when he was going through the issue. Another way you can evaluate how Kim Emigh handled the situation is through Bederaco's 4 rules of quiet leaders. The first one is to put things off till tomorrow. And in a sense, he didn't do that at all, because he was considered to have strict adherence to ethics, which means that he immediately pointed out questionable activities, and so he didn't put things off. The second one, he didn't do it at all as well, which is pick your battles. He pretty much chose to fight every battle, and with anything that he saw, he would report it to upper management, and management just was not happy with him, and it was difficult for him to acquire political capital when he's always reporting to management about things, nitpicky things that they're doing wrong, given they were serious things that they were doing, but again, with WorldCom's culture, it wasn't working for him. The third one is bend the rules, don't break them. And in this situation, he felt like he was bending the rules enough, and that they were asking him to always bend the rules, so he didn't do that. And last but not least is to find a compromise, and it was pretty clear that they wanted him to follow through with the capital labor process because the company wasn't doing so well. So the outcome for Kim was not one that anyone would wish on a whistleblower who showed such great moral courage. I'm sure Kim thought to himself, if only I would have done things differently, I could have kept my job, or I could have had different employment. In the end, he discovered early on that the tone at the top was not good. And that was, again, at the very beginning of his employment. And so, with him seeing how management responds to situations of unethical behavior, he should have seen the writing on the wall and sought out alternative employment as he was going through this ethical dilemma.